Tony D and Little Joan with the Screenwriter's Rant on The Last Spark of Hope, nuclear annihilation movie. I'm not sure what country it was shot in. I suspect that it's a foreign film. But it's the end of civilization. Smash a like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys books 1 through 17. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Want to see a girl boss a robot around? I think I got the movie for you. Yeah, it looks like that. It appears to be an apocalyptic movie about the last girl boss on the earth. And she's got no one to boss around except this poor robot. So I think the premise is she's an astronaut and she's up on the space station when everybody in the world kills themselves. And then she somehow gets back to Earth by herself. I'm not quite sure how she does that. And apparently they're having giveaways for this movie. And she comes back to Earth, and she's surviving, and she's trying to figure out if there's any other life forms. And then I think she finally connects, but then they try to kill her, and she has to fight them off. I'm not sure. The trailer doesn't really make it clear. But there's one moment in which the robot... See, this may be the guy she contacts, or contacts her or whatever. And then there's a big fight, and here she is. I'm going to guess dreaming that she had a regular life or whatever. So the robot, at one point, she asked the robot, do you remember when the robots killed all the humans in the climate wars? And I'm just like, what? What are you jamming in one line of dialogue? That's not the way to handle that. If you're going to establish this world, you have to do it in increments. The first thing you have to do, in my opinion, is you have to hook the audience with something they can kind of get behind, right? So at Mad Max, an apocalyptic movie, in the Road Warrior movie, they kind of do that by giving Mad Max a dog, because that makes him a nice guy, and he has a dog, and then spoilers, the dog gets killed, and Max gets really mad. Robots don't quite do the same thing, especially when you establish, remember that the robots nearly wiped out humanity during the climate wars? See, you got way too much to explain. Like, first off, you got robots that killed everybody, which is possible, but usually humans control that, so you're kind of implying they were sentient, and that implies a whole range of stuff that could have happened. Then you're saying the term climate wars, and just kind of throwing that out there. What the hell were the climate wars? Did the weather attack us, or are you talking about people fighting over resources because the climate had changed? Like, what exactly are you talking about? And when you throw those two pieces of history, quote unquote, out, and it's not directly relevant to the scene you're seeing at that particular moment, it becomes very hard to process. And so it becomes too much. So you got to wind it back a little bit. Now maybe there's some dialogue earlier in the movie that kind of establishes that, and then they're just going over some aspect of it. But I don't think so. I feel like that's part of the amazing dialogue in this film. Hold on a sec. Are you yelling at me, Joan? Joan, I'm doing a video. Thank you. She's over there going, meow, 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 meow. I don't know what you're complaining about, Joan, but take it up with someone who cares. Anyhow, Joan, come over here if you want something. Jeez. First act, she's up in the space station and everybody dies. Okay. kind of a big hill to start on. You know, movies should go first act, second act, third act, resolution. If you start with the end of the civilization, you're kind of starting way up here. And that's, to get higher than that, civilization end. Well, now Earth could be ended. I mean, I guess it's really tough. So yeah, you really need to focus in on the characters, I think. And I like the idea of someone isolated, but she seems a little too together. She doesn't look like she's been isolated for the last, let's say 5 years after humanity wiped itself out. She looks like she's just been to a hairdresser. She looks good. She looks a little too good. You probably look like hell. I mean, imagine living for yourself for years and years. I lived by myself for a couple of years. You kind of start to let things go. Yeah, it's the time you start wearing sweatpants and walking around in your underwear because you're the only one around, so who the hell cares? You need to see a little of that in this, but you don't, and I strongly suspect they're a little too interested in designing some cool stuff to do it. It also doesn't really go over what country she's in. Now this is only a trailer, so maybe it's in the movie, but would be nice to see. It's got some nice shots and everything, but I'm not sure what the deal is if the only other person on Earth and they're trying to kill each other. Is it based on that short story about the guy who comes back to Earth and he's the only one left and he's about to end it all when the phone rings? Is it based somehow on that? I mean, there's a lot to do with this concept, but yeah, I don't know. I might check it out despite this, because I do like these post-apocalyptic dealies. See, even in this shot, she looks a little too together. Looks like she's got some nice makeup on. Like it yeah. I think she'd be like looking pretty rough, No sense of plucking your eyebrows if you've been alone by yourself for 5 years. And I don't know how many years it's been. It could be longer than that, it could be shorter, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you start to kind of let things like that go. Now, that's it. She's a little sort of dirty, but I think you'd be very rough looking if you lived by yourself and you were the last person on Earth. I think you'd be, what's the point? What's the point? If it was a guy, he'd have a beard, he'd have, unkempt hair. So here she runs out of water, I guess. I'm not sure where she is, though. She's kind of in a desert. So maybe she's in America, or maybe it's supposed to be America. I don't know. Let's read the write-up. At the end of the wars, just the wars, there's probably one person left on Earth. She lives with a robot named Arthur. One day, Eve comes in the conflict with the robot and starts a deadly battle for survival. Oh, so she's fighting the robot. Okay. Seems odd. Starring Magdalena Wizarek. Writer and director Piotr Badron. So this feels definitely like something that was shot not in the United States. Let's see if I can find the real name of this thing. A Spark of Hope. There it is. Oh, this says 2023. Original title, W. Nick Kala Nadziger. Okay. So I think it's just coming to America, and literally it only has the robot and the girl in it. All right. I mean, I would be willing to check it out, but I kind of feel like something might be lost in the translation. I'm guessing it's maybe Polish, Russian, some kind of Slavic nation made this. So yeah, I might just check it out, sort of as a novelty. If it was on streaming, of course, I wouldn't expect this to get wide distribution in theaters. But look at it this way: it's got a much higher score than Snow White. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for more videos. Thanks to all who tuned in to Hollywoke Hot Take Live tonight. Oh, it was pretty epic barn burner. Yeah, you should check that out on YouTube. I'll be posting it on the other platforms as well. I will be on the Alien Agenda podcast tomorrow at 2 p.m. So check me out there. And then check me out. I'll be doing the Tom's River show on Sunday, March 30th. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.